Oh, CC Bella.
Okay. You want chocolate? No chocolate? If you want chocolate, you just get this bowl. You want this one, the bigger one? We're gonna go.
I love you too.
This is the morning. This is why I love that I thrive.
I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward.
Objectively say that this is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen. And nothing less than a maximum sentence would be appropriate. And anything less than the maximum sentence would depreciate the seriousness of this offense. Deputies, I would respectfully ask that you take this defendant into custody and have him serve the rest of his life in the Department of Corrections. We are in recess.
Tell me you love them.
You're welcome. We love you.
Say love you.
Candy.
Oh yeah, shoot, that's in here.
If this stillness holds you, a quiet gesture helps sustain these long-form investigations. Taking a moment to like the video or subscribe allows stories like this to be examined with the time and care they demand, bringing hidden truths into focus, one layer at a time.
I don't want to be in it. Get lower. Cece, play patty cake on Daddy's head.
Yeah, she's gripping it right now.
Cece, play patty cake on Daddy's head. Go whack a daddy.
Don't do that, Cece. Don't do it. Sounds kind of hollow.
Whack a daddy. Don't spit.
Don't spit on Daddy, please. Oh, that's a shower.
Careful, Bella, don't fall, okay? Whack a daddy. Whack a daddy. One more time, Daddy. Whack a daddy. Whack.
Your Honor, there are no words to adequately describe the unimaginable tragedy that brings us before this court today. By my comments, I'm not even going to try to express the horror, the pain, or the suffering that the defendant has caused to these families, to this community, and to all who were a part of this investigation. However, I do want to spend a few minutes sharing with the court the details of the crime, as so far you've only had an opportunity to review the affidavit and a few facts here and there that have been offered to the court in the motions and pleadings that have been filed. The questions that have screamed out to anyone who will listen since August 13th of 2018 are why and how. Why did this have to happen? How could a seemingly normal husband and father annihilate his entire family? For what? These are the questions that only one individual in this courtroom or on this planet knows the answers to. I fully expect we will not receive the answers to these questions today, nor will we at any point in the future. I don't expect that he will ever tell the truth about what truly happened or why. Even if he did, there is no rational way that any human being could find those answers acceptable responses to such horrific questions. The best we can do is try to piece together some kind of understanding from the evidence that is available to us. And the evidence tells us this: the defendant coldly and deliberately ended 4 lives, not in a fit of rage, not by way of accident, but in a calculated and sickening manner. Shanann was 34 years old. She had married the defendant in November of 2012. Over the weekend leading up to August 13th, she had been at a work conference in Phoenix, Arizona. and returned home in the early morning hours of August 13th. We know that she got home about 1:45 in the morning. The doorbell camera on their home shows her arriving back home from the airport. Shortly thereafter, at least according to the defendant, they had what he referred to as an emotional conversation about the state of their marriage and about what their lives would look like going forward. What was said during that emotional conversation, only he knows. What we do know is that shortly after that, the defendant strangled her to death with his own hands. We know that he slowly took her life the morning of August 13th. We know that this was not done in an uncontrolled, vengeful manner that he tried to describe to agents from CBI and the FBI. If that were the case, you would expect to see vicious, horrible bruising about her neck, shoulders, and face. You would expect to see the hyoid bone in her neck broken. You would expect to see some kind of defensive wounds on his body as she struggled and fought for her own life. None of those are present. The only injuries that were on Shanann's body were one set of finger or bruising, what appeared to be fingernail or finger mark bruising to the right side of her neck. We know that our experts will tell us that it takes 2 to 4 minutes to strangle someone to death manually with their own hands. The horror that she felt as the man that she loved wrapped his hands around her throat and choked the life out of her must have been unimaginable. Even worse, what must Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, must have experienced or thought as their father, the one man on this planet who was supposed to nurture and protect them, was snuffing out their lives. They both died from smothering. Let me say that again. The man seated to my right smothered his daughters. Why? Imagine the horror in Bella's mind as her father took her last breaths away. Your Honor, understand very clearly, Bella fought back for her life. The frenulum, the connective tissue between her upper lip and her gum, had a centimeter and a half laceration. She bit her tongue multiple times before she died. She fought back for her life as her father smothered her. Celeste had no such injuries. In fact, she had no external injuries at all. But according to the medical examiner, she was smothered nonetheless. The defendant then methodically and calmly loaded their bodies into his work truck, not in a hasty or disorganized way. He was seen from the neighbor's doorbell camera backing his truck into the driveway, going back and forth into the house and back out to the truck 3 different times, 1 time for each of their bodies. He then drove them away from their family home 1 final time, intent on hiding any evidence of the crimes that he had just committed. In one final sign of callousness for his wife, his daughters, and their unborn son, and their remains, he drove them to a location that he thought no one would ever find them, to one of the oil tank batteries with which he was so familiar. He knew this was safe. He had texted a coworker the night before saying, "I'll head out to that site. I'll take care of it." He had carefully ensured that he would be alone in the middle of the plains to secrete away the remains of his family in a place that he hoped they would never be found. In one final measure of disrespect for the family he once had, he ensured that they would not be together, even in death, or so he thought. He disposed of them in different locations. He buried Shanann and Nico in a shallow grave away from the oil tanks. Bella and Celeste were thrown away in the oil tanks at this facility. Different tanks, so these little girls wouldn't be together in death. Imagine this, Your Honor. This defendant took those little girls and put them through a hatch at the top of an oil tank, 8 inches in diameter. Bella had scratches on her left buttocks from being shoved through this hole. A tuft of blonde hair was found on the edge of one of these hatches. The defendant told investigators that Bella's tank seemed emptier than CC's because of the sound that the splashes made. These were his daughters. Significantly, when his co-workers arrived at the tank battery later that morning, to a person, they all described him as acting completely normally. It was a normal workday, even while his daughters sank in the oil and water not far away from him. And then his efforts at deception truly began. We've all seen the emotionless interviews that the defendant gives to the local media, asking for help in locating his family. We watched as he claimed that the house was empty without them, and that he hoped that they were somewhere safe, and that he just wanted them to come home. He told investigators that they were at home sleeping when he left for work that morning, and that Shanann had told him that she was taking the girls to a friend's house for the day. What is striking about this case, Your Honor, beyond the horrors that I've already described to you, is the number of collateral victims that he created by his actions. While he stood in front of TV cameras asking for the safe return of his family, scores of law enforcement officers, neighbors, friends, and family scoured the area, fretted for their safe return. They texted him begging for any information and sending him their best wishes, all the while he hid what he had done. The list of indirect victims does not end there. Think of the firefighters and the Colorado State Patrol hazmat experts who had to don protective suits and who were called upon to pull Bella and Celeste out of those oil tanks. Or the coroner employees who had to conduct these autopsies. Or the victim assistants who frantically attempted to ease the suffering of those affected. All of this, Your Honor, for what? Why? Why did this have to happen? His motive was simple, Your Honor. He had a desire for a fresh start, to begin a relationship with a new love that overpowered all decency and feelings for his wife, his daughters, and unborn son. While Shanann texted the defendant over and over again in the days and weeks leading up to her death, attempting to save her marriage, the defendant secreted pictures of his girlfriend into his phone and searched and texted her at all hours of the night. While Shanann sent the defendant self-help and relationship counseling books, one of which, ironically enough, was thrown in the garbage, he was searching the internet for secluded vacation spots to take his new love in researching jewelry. And while Shanann took the girls to visit family in North Carolina, the defendant went to car museums and the sand dunes with his new girlfriend. The stark contrast between the subjects of their internet and text content is absolutely stunning. Even the morning after he killed them and disposed of their bodies, he made several phone calls. One was to the school where the girls were supposed to start, telling the school that the girls would not be coming to school anymore, that they were being unenrolled, presumably to give him some more time before law enforcement notification about them going missing. He contacted a realtor to start discussing the selling of his house, and he texted with his girlfriend about their future. None of this answers the questions of why, however. If he was this happy and wanted a new start, get a divorce. You don't annihilate your family and throw them away like garbage. Why did Nico, Celeste, Bella, and Shanann have to lose their lives in order for him to get what he wanted? Your Honor, justice demands the maximum sentence under the agreement reached by the parties. As you will recall, the agreement calls for life sentences as to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, and all of those to run consecutively to one another. It also calls for the count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy as to Nico to run consecutively to counts 1, 2, and 3. I would suggest that the extreme aggravation present in the defendant's conduct and in the efforts that I have described mandate that the sentences for counts 7, 8, and 9, the tampering with a deceased human body, each be the maximum of 12 years, and that those sentences run consecutively to one another. It is very clear that each of these acts, that these were not the subject of one act, but each oil tank, that he walked up with his daughter's bodies and the hole that he dug for his wife and unborn son mandate a mandatory consecutive sentence. It's been alluded to this morning, but the defendant was certainly eligible for the death penalty in this case under the existing law in the state of Colorado. As you heard, Shanann's family strongly opposed my office seeking the death penalty and being bound to the criminal justice system for the next several decades. That's in large part, as you've heard, why we have reached the agreement that we have. 4 lives were lost at the hands of the defendant on August 13th for reasons that we will never fully understand, nor will we know. In the end, the Rusick family was much more merciful towards him than he was towards his wife, his daughters, and his unborn son. Prison for the remainder of his life is exactly where he belongs for murdering his entire family. Thank you.
Everyone needs to deserve this. Everyone.
Absolutely everyone.
Tell them how much fun it is.
It's amazing.
This place is nuts. It is phenomenal.
We're gonna go have some fun. Get to hear what's coming out. It's absolutely exciting. We're super excited. We'll be back here live shortly, guys. Love you.
The past 3 months, I barely slept because I've been going through a lot of different emotions because I did not see this coming. You went from being my brother, my sister's protector, one of the most loved people in my family, to someone I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand. What gave you the right to put your hands on a woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, your daughters, and your son? Why weren't they enough for you? In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world, the people that mattered to me the most. Everything in my life I loved, your children. They trusted you. They loved you. They looked up to you because you promised to keep them safe. Instead, you turned on your family. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel. And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes to put my pen to this paper. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't cry for my family. They were my whole world. All I do is ask myself why. Why would you do this? You don't deserve to be called a man. What kind of person slaughters the people that love them the most? Did you really think you would get away with this? Did you really think that this was your best option, to throw away your family like they were garbage? They deserve better and you know it. I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done. None of us deserved this. Hearing my mother and father cry themselves to sleep in this hotel room causes me anguish that is beyond words. I can't describe how this feels, how badly my heart is breaking for my poor parents. We trusted you. You have taken away my family from this earth, but you can never take them from my heart. You took away my privilege of being an uncle to the most precious little girls I've ever known. I will never hear the words Uncle Frankie again, but you will never be called Dad again either. You'll never be able to put your hands on another woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, and your son. I just can't comprehend how they weren't enough for you. Shanann, Bella, and Cece loved you more than anyone. You were their hero. How could you destroy the people who loved them the most? I pray that you never have a moment's peace or a good night's rest in the cage you'll spend every day of your life in. A cage you are privileged to live in because my family isn't evil like you. We begged the district attorney to spare your life because despite everything, we believe that no one has the right to take the life of another, even someone like you. I feel sorry for your family. I know the pain that they must feel knowing that they can't hug you, because that's how my mother, father, and I feel every time we cry for our family. Nothing hurts more than watching or hearing my family weep for their loved ones. I just wish that I could tell that you would tell the truth, but I know that that is asking for more than you are capable of. I stayed up all night writing this statement. I don't sleep because of you. My life will never be the same because of you, but at least my conscience is clear. I get to live free, but I can't say the same for you. I haven't slept in 2 days because I've been anxiously waiting for this moment, the moment I get to tell you how I feel, how this has affected my family and I. My family and I can finally grieve after today. If anything, we will come out of this stronger today than we were before, and we will continue to pray for your family. Sincerely, Frankie Rusick.
Thank you.
I know God will put the evil people where they need to be. I also want to take the time to thank the town of Frederick, Greeley, FBI, the DA's office, the CBI, for exceptional work. We thank Nicole Atkinson, Shannon's neighbor Nathan, and his family. To me, they're our heroes. They really are. God bless. God makes no mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health, to death do us part. Our daughter Shannon loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shannon put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. And I don't know if you got to see it, but it was, Daddy, you're my hero. I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives. But I know God and his mighty angels were there at that moment to bring them home to paradise. God gives us free will. So not only did you take the family of four, your family of four, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. There will always be protected by God and his mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that he has mercy for you. From Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's, Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't want them to really go in the ocean.
Ready, set,
Go.
ready, set.
Go.
The pool opens in 2 weeks too.
What's the degrees today?
85 last I checked. 120.
Wow.
No, Cece.
Yeah.
Cece, girl.
Oh God. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? She can climb that fence.
This matter comes on for a first appearance. Mr. Rohr, correct me if I'm wrong, but formal charges have not been filed yet?
That's correct, Your Honor. The defendant was arrested. Formal charges have not been filed. On my calculation, I believe they will be due to the court at 3:30 on Monday.
Thank you. Mr. Mercer, anything you would like to say about that?
Not regarding that issue, thank you.
So the court has reviewed a affidavit in support of a warrantless arrest. The court has found probable cause for the arrest. Specifically, I see that Mr. Watts was arrested for 3 counts of first-degree murder, each a Class 1 felony, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body, each a Class 3 felony. Again, these are only charges that are named in the affidavit in support of a warrantless arrest. It's the district attorney's office who will ultimately decide what charges, if any, are going to be filed. And Mr. Merson, would you like me to advise your client of his rights pursuant to Rule 5?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So, Mr. Watts, I would like you to listen carefully to the rights that you have, okay?
Thank you.
And so first, you don't need to make any statements. Any statements you make can and may be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to counsel. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you are indigent, you have the right to request the appointment of counsel or consult with a public defender before any further proceedings are held. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Merson is the head of the public defender's office, and he is going to represent you today and potentially in the future. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any plea that you make must be made voluntarily and not the result of undue influence or coercion. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Right now, charges have not been filed, so this is a limited advisement. I intend to bring you back next week once formal charges are filed on Monday, so I can give you a full advisement. But I will tell you that at this point, the court is not authorizing any bail. Once I know what the official charges are that are filed by the district attorney's office, I'll inform you the nature of the charges. If charges are filed, you have the right to a jury trial, and you have the right to demand and receive a preliminary hearing within a reasonable time to determine whether probable cause exists to believe that you committed any of the charges that are filed by the district attorney's office. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I believe that your lawyer has filed about 16 or so motions on your behalf, including a request for a preliminary hearing. Do you agree, Mr. Merson, that that time period, that 35 days to have a preliminary hearing, doesn't begin until your client appears in court next week once formal charges are filed?
I agree.
And I have not seen, correct me if I'm wrong, a proof positive, presumptive, great written motion by your office.
Not at this point, Judge.
Okay. Okay. And so would you like me to further advise your client of any additional rights?
No, thank you.
Mr. Rourke, what kind of conditions, if any, are you requesting for the protection order given the circumstances?
Judge, I'm going to defer to Mr. Wren on that.
Mr. Wren?
People are simply asking for the standard protection order under Title 18 at this point, given the deceased nature of the victims.
And I assume based on the no bond hold, the issue of possessing or having access to or control over a firearm or any ammunition is a non-issue until and if bond is authorized.
That's correct.
Thank you. So, Mr. Watts, I am going to issue a protection order pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes 18-1-1001. It's going to state that you not harass, molest, intimidate, retaliate against any witness involved in this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you were to violate the mandatory protection order, it's a Class 1 misdemeanor. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And could we talk about some of them? I realize that things are happening very quickly. Motions were filed today. There hasn't been a lot of time to object or to file responses. Mr. Merson has filed a number of motions, some of which potentially may be time sensitive. My intention is for the parties to come back to court next Tuesday so I could advise Mr. Watts of his formal charges that are filed no later than 3:30 on Monday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be requiring the prosecutor to file a response between now and Tuesday, or whether we can resolve some of these issues now. For example, the preservation of certain evidence, like police notes, handwritten notes, like touch DNA evidence, things of that nature.
Your Honor, I think we can address some of these pretty quickly, but certainly not all of them. We would be asking for time to file a written response to some of them.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the time that elapses between now and Tuesday, and I want to make sure that the evidence that's being requested to be preserved is preserved.
Understood.
So, for example, can you, any objection for me to order that all law enforcement, both state and federal, that were involved in this case, preserve their handwritten notes? Any objection to that?
No.
So I will grant that request. Did you read Mr. Merson's motion with regard to touch DNA?
I believe that was filed under seal, and I have not seen it.
It was suppressed, so they should have had access to it.
Gail, Christy, could we print out a copy for Mr. Red? Again, I appreciate the fact that this happened very quickly, and so let me get you a copy of that, a hard copy of that. and then you can review it and let me know what your thoughts are. Is there an autopsy that's scheduled to be conducted in the near future?
Not yet.
There was a
16.
16?
Yes.
While we're waiting, Mr. Merson, I noticed that
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. It was D17.
D17?
Yeah, sorry.
So I see that your motions are numbered, but I'm missing 9 through 15.
Yeah, I basically counted them and then started off. There were some other people in my office that had filed those other pleadings and not numbered them.
I just want to make sure I'm not missing something.
I don't think you are. I think many of them concern the media issue. On the way over here, the deputies advised the court had already ruled on that. So to a certain extent, some of that is moot. But if we are going to take a D17, in light of the fact that the affidavit is still sealed, I would ask that the court seal the courtroom and just allow the parties to argue that, because it will require me to talk about information in the affidavit.
Well, why don't we give Mr. Wren an opportunity and let me know whether, without talking about the substance, whether he has an objection or not. It's really more of putting the prosecution on notice than anything else. Why don't you read it first and let me know what you think. You can give it to the prosecution.
Steve.
Extra.
I might. It was one of the. So, I did add the house to this. So the D17 will have the house on it as well. And that's the gist of it. At this point, I'm concerned about whether or not the house is sealed off. If it's not, it's been released by law enforcement. Okay. When was that? Late last night. Okay. All right. That's because that part of the motion would be put at this point. Mostly concerns what's in this motion. So, okay.
If I could take a moment to read.
Yes.
Mr. Mercer, anything on the Mr. Wren.
Thank you.
I'm okay with continuing it. I just don't want there to be any time-sensitive issues between now and next Tuesday that we should have handled today.
I think we need to address it today. As I indicated, Judge, at this point, there's not an autopsy scheduled or autopsies. I don't know when that might happen. I don't know if it would happen before Tuesday or not. With respect to this motion, and does the court want to address Mr. Merson's concerns about clearing the courtroom, given the sealed nature of this, or may I speak for you?
Well, it was I think it's based on the sealing of the affidavit in support of the warrantless arrest, and so it was your motion to seal. So if you think the reasons why you requested the affidavit to be sealed are going to be compromised, we could do this in camera. If you believe it's not, then we can talk about it publicly.
I'm not worried about the compromising nature of the affidavit. I will tell the court and make a record that the prosecution has provided Mr. Merson with a copy of the affidavit, despite the fact that it was sealed to the public.
I am concerned about this being discussed in a non-in-camera setting. My concerns revolve around the issues I brought up and the objections to expanded media coverage. It's an ongoing investigation at this point. I have concerns about, what would be discussed and how that would implicate Mr. Watts' right to a fair trial and his due process right. So my request is that the court seal the courtroom so we can discuss this.
Mr. Wren?
Leave that to the discretion of the court.
It seems to me, based on everything I've heard, that the affidavit is going to be released at some point. It was the prosecution who requested the sealing of the affidavit. They're not concerned about this being compromised, the investigation being compromised. And so I think we can talk about this publicly. Mr. Wren?
And when you say talk about this, are we still talking about
yes.
D17?
Yes.
Which was also filed under seal.
Yes.
So with respect to paragraph number 3, Judge, our concerns relate to the way this is worded. As the court knows, the pathologist goes through a very extensive process when conducting an autopsy, much of which is governed by statute. I think most of what he's asking for is standard procedure for an autopsy conducted in this jurisdiction and would be done. However, I have concerns about the way this is phrased in that it orders collection of trace DNA and touch DNA from certain areas of bodies that at this point we don't even have, frankly. Second, we don't know if that trace DNA is going to even exist if we have the bodies. So there's no way to order us to find something that may or may not exist.
I think when I read the motion, it essentially is putting the prosecution on notice that at some point they may be in possession of exculpatory evidence, and it's their duty to make reasonable efforts to preserve that and ultimately provide that to the defense. And so I think they're on notice by the mere fact that we're talking about this, that Mr. Wren got a copy of the motion, and if this becomes an issue later on, we can litigate this, and there's some pretty significant sanctions for the destruction of exculpatory evidence. Okay, so that will be the ruling of the court.
Your Honor, may I ask one clarifying question? Because the way that the motion is titled talks about the collection of touch or trace DNA at 2825 Saratoga Trail as well as during the autopsy, but the body of the motion does not. I want to make sure that Mr. Merson is aware that the home where the homicides were alleged to have occurred has been released by law enforcement, was released as of about midnight last night. So even as we stand today, we are not in a position to be able to go back in and collect trace DNA from that home. So I just want to make clear that, that the ruling of the court does not require us to do anything affirmative with respect to the home.
And Mr. Wren advised me that the government is no longer in control of the home, so I'm aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With regard to the motion for protective order, essentially for nobody to speak to Mr. Watts other than his attorneys and investigators and support staff, I'm assuming there's no objection to that?
Correct.
You'll put law enforcement on notice on that issue?
Yes.
Okay. Any other time-sensitive issues that cannot wait until next Tuesday?
Nothing from the legal.
Mr. Merson?
May I just have 1 second?
Sure.
Nothing further. Thanks, Judge.
Okay, and I would just respectfully ask that if you file anything between now and next Tuesday, and certainly into the future, if you could advise your office of this, if there's more than one lawyer working on it, please number every pleading that's filed, and for the prosecution as well, maybe you can use letters. And that way I know that I'm not missing something. That would be wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see. Let's pick a time next Tuesday. I know everybody's really busy. I just had some time open up. And so what's a convenient time for everybody to be here? I'm also going to be asking if there's victim rights compliance today and see if there's a more convenient time for whoever the victim rights representative is.
You know, we have been in communication with the family of the victims. We are in VRA compliance with that, based on that effort. At this point, we don't have any specific times that are good or bad for the family, but we will certainly contact them as soon as we leave and clarify their availability for next Tuesday.
How about the attorneys? What's a good time for you to be here on Tuesday?
Anytime, Judge. I'll make it work.
The motion's hearing in Division 12 at 2 o'clock. That'll probably last an hour. Otherwise, I'm free.
How about 10 o'clock?
That's fine.
Okay. So the plan is next Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we're going to know whether the prosecution filed formal charges or not, and the deadline for that would be Monday at 3:30. I will give Mr. Watts a more detailed advisement, and then we'll decide what the next step is going to be. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, one more thing.
Yes.
I would just ask the court order that the prosecution give the defense notice as to if an autopsy is to be scheduled, when that is scheduled, so that we can file the appropriate motions. I think you can appreciate why we would want notice of that.
Yes. Any objection to that?
Not as to the notice issue.
Yeah, I'm not going to be ordering that they, at this point, I'm not ordering that they be allowed to be present during the autopsy. Why don't we say 48 hours notice? Is that reasonable?
Yes, and if I learn that information over the weekend, I'll email Mr. Mercer.
Is that okay with you, Mr. Mercer?
That's fine, thank you.
They wouldn't do the autopsy over the weekend, though, would they?
No, I don't believe so.
They would?
They're going to try to get it done soon. So 48 hours is probably not going to be enough. Could they make their decision?
We've all certainly seen autopsies scheduled less than 48 hours after the bodies are recovered. So we will do our best to comply with the notice requirements as soon as we learn the information.
Who would be making the decision on when to perform an autopsy?
The coroner's office.
So can you communicate with them that there's an order that there would be 48 hours notice, and if they, for whatever reason, can't comply with that, you'll let Mr. Mercer know?
Is the court ordering that the autopsy not be conducted earlier than 48 hours after the recovery of the bodies?
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is I'm ordering that you notify the coroner that there's an order that Mr. Mercer is entitled to 48 hours notice, and if they are intending to perform the autopsy sooner than that, they need to let you know before it starts so you can give Mr. Mercer reasonable notice.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you can think of between now and next Tuesday that we can resolve today?
Nothing from the prosecution.
Nothing from the defense, thanks.
Okay. All right, we'll see you next Tuesday at 10 o'clock or Monday when we are at
Hey guys, good morning, or I know for Colorado people it's good morning, good afternoon for everybody else. I wanted to come here live because today is the big day for the huge, our cocktail party is tonight where Product X is going to be released. We're super excited. We're heading to the pool right now, and then we have a massage today paid for by Lavelle. Today at 3:30. So Chris and I are super excited. So we're gonna get a massage after we lay by the pool for a little bit and maybe go to the beach again. And then we're going to go to the cocktail party. And we will be live there tonight.
What I'd like to say to the court is that Shannon, Bella, and Nico are loving, caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. They always had good times. This is the first time they went to the beach this year, and they loved it. But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shannon, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughters Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me. They were loving and caring people. You may have taken their bodies from me, but you will never take the love they had for me. They loved us more than you will ever know, because you don't know what love is, because if you did, you would not have killed them. You monster, thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash of the house. Yes, I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life, and I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life, and I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. May the courts have no mercy on you. It's hard every day. It hurts in so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
So I brought Graham in here because we want to talk to you about the results, okay?
Okay.
So it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Chris, stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today, and you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what, I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened. So can you start from the beginning and tell us what happened?
Everything that I've told you, I did not lie on this polygraph. I don't know how much I could tell you right now. Like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. So I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. That's the issue right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
I
know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know this. Like,
Okay.
I'm not like trying to like cover things up. Like,
Yeah, but you kind of are because it's normal. Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. It's just like if you ask your kid, did you write on the wall? And they go, no. And you're like, you have a marker on your hand. Like, I know you just wrote on the wall. And they're like, oh, okay. That's a natural reaction that someone's going to initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time. This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue.
Like, I want them back home, like...
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
I hope they come back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know they're not coming back home.
Chris, Tammy and I are confused, okay? And here's what we're confused about. I told you that we've done some work overnight.
Yes.
I told you that we've got a lot of leads, okay? That wasn't a lie.
I know.
We know a lot more than you think we do, okay? And here's where we're confused. You're this great guy, and I'm not just telling you that, okay? I'm telling you that because everyone tells us that, okay? We can't find anyone to say anything bad about you. Chris is a great guy. He's a good father. He's a good man. We're confused as to why you're not taking care of your beautiful children.
I'm not taking care of them right now?
Right now. Where are they?
I don't know where they're at. Honestly, I do not know where they are at. If I could have my babies back home right now, I would. I want them back. I want everybody back. That is the God's honest truth.
So let's keep talking about your family, okay? We just can't figure out why there's two Chris's, okay? We talked about that last night.
Yes.
We just can't figure it out. There's a Chris, okay? If somebody asked me my kid's child routine, I would say, I don't know, go ask their mom. That's the truth, right? And so it is very surprising to me, and it warms my heart that you're the type of dad who can pack a bag in the morning, and you know just what to put in there, and you know just what to put in there as a backup in case they have an accident, okay? You know what the clothes to put in there, you know what they have for breakfast, you know what they have for a snack, and a dinner, and a nighttime snack. You can tell me the book you read to your daughters, okay? I know you love them, and you're not faking that, are you? It's real, okay? There's a lot of guys who come in here and try to tell me that, and I know they're lying, okay? Because they can't answer those questions that you can answer, okay? But you are here today lying about something else. So we need to talk about that, okay?
I cheated on her.
I know. And this is very good. Keep
I'm not proud of it. I didn't think anything like that could happen. I didn't think I'd ever do it, but I did.
I know. Keep going.
And she accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and it was, I don't want to, I didn't hurt her. I cheated on her. I hurt her emotionally. I cheated on her. And I feel absolutely horrible about this, but that's what I've been holding. When I didn't go to the Rockies game, I was with her.
Okay.
I went to dinner with her.
Okay. Keep going.
That 5 weeks I was alone, I was with her most of the time.
Okay. You're doing a good job. This is the Chris that I knew would come out today. This is the Chris who tells the truth because you're a truth teller.
When I tell you I fell out of love, it's because I fell in love with her.
Absolutely.
Okay, I mean, that's God's honest truth.
Okay. Who is her?
So I don't want to get her involved in this. I don't want to ruin her life. Like, if something like this, I don't want her involved in this.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
I knew that you would say you didn't want to get her involved.
But
because you'd like to take care of people.
She's a wonderful person. Like, I mean, she knew I was married, yes. And I told her we were going through issues, yes.
Yes.
And I told her that, you know, we were going to get, you know, at the end, like, you're going to get separated. Like, once I figured out what that was, I didn't know what that was going to be.
I know.
I had no idea. I like, you know, I saw her, took my breath away, and I'd never thought in a million years that could happen.
I know.
I know you think I'm a figure, like, but like, it was, I never felt that way about anybody, like, anybody in my lifetime.
Chris, that's not your fault.
No, I'm just,
well, can we do this? I know you want to take care of her because it's because you're the type of guy who takes care of women. It is. You took care of your wife, you took care of your daughters, you were very good at taking care of her, and you want to take care of her. So can we make a deal? I don't think this girl did anything to hurt anybody, but I can't walk out of here wondering. So can we leave her out of it?
Okay.
Get back to your wife and your daughters.
Okay.
Where are they?
That I do not know. That was what I was holding back. Like, I didn't know, like, what I did. I know.
Chris, in the interview today, you weren't asked about infidelity. You were asked about...
I was holding back from last night.
That's not why you failed today.
That's not how that works. You would have reactions to every single question, not just the ones that we talked about being important.
Like the ones you wanted me to lie about, like, is that what you're talking about?
No, the ones about her disappearance and knowing where she's at, and about seeing her last.
I was not lying about those things. So
can I tell you what I think?
Yes.
Okay. So, going into that interview today with Tammy, where we strapped you in, we knew all about Nikki. Okay? All about her. And you're doing a very good job right now, because you didn't have to tell us about her, but you did.
I couldn't hold that in anymore.
I know. We could see it on your chest and in your eyes. Okay? Here's the challenge that we have. We knew about Nikki, and so we didn't need to ask you about her in the polygraph. We just didn't need to, because we knew, okay? And so that's why we didn't ask you, because we already knew the answer, okay? We're very, very worried about your daughters and your wife.
I am too.
Okay? So can I tell you, maybe based on the people that I've talked to, and Tammy's talked to, based on all the investigations we've done, based on your cell phone, both your cell phones, your wife's cell phone, Nikki's cell phone, okay? Based on talking with family members and friends, and based on talking with everyone. Here's what we know, okay? And I'm not gonna lie to you right now, here's what we know, okay? Chris is a good man. Everyone said it, okay? I'm not just telling you that because I, want to blow smoke here. You're a good man, okay? Nobody can fake answers about packing a backpack, nobody. You either pack a backpack for your kids or you don't, okay? This should have been the happiest time of your marriage. Okay? You and Shanann. This should have been the happiest time. She's making a little money. She's making good money. You're making great money. You both have a job. You have beautiful kids. You have a beautiful house. You're in Colorado. Clean air, good people. Okay? And on top of that, you look pretty good now. You're pretty fit. Okay? This should have been a time in your marriage where you guys were happy and thriving and productive. Okay? And I believe that Shanann's the reason none of that happened. I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should. I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't. Okay? I think if you were to go to a restaurant, she would order whatever the hell she wants. And as soon as you order a nice steak, she says, whoa, buddy. Okay? A woman that lets her man do all of the backpack packing and all of the cooking.
I'll do all the cooking, but like she cooks, like I do like some things here and there.
Okay. It's because you're a good person, and I think that she started on the path to leave the marriage. Okay? It's ironic that we're talking about you and Nikki. I think that she was the one who started on that path first. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Okay. And the other thing I think is interesting is, even though she is that type of person that's controlling, doesn't listen, does what she wants, is walking away from her kids, here you are defending her. Because to your core, you want to take care of the people you love. Okay. And that's the reason why we want to give you an opportunity today to just help us find them. Okay? Will you do that for us?
I'll do whatever I can to help to find where they're at.
Okay. So when she asked you, do you know where they are, or are you going to tell the truth about where they are, you failed miserably.
Okay.
Why?
I'm a nervous person. Like every question I asked, every question, it felt like I wouldn't say the right thing.
That's not how the polygraph works.
I don't know like what it reads like. I know she was saying about the autonomy of the process, but like I don't know where they're at.
Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help you. Okay. You're lying to him. You lied to everyone you talked to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies?
I want to find them. I've told you over and over, I want to find everyone.
Can we go back to that night?
Yeah.
You know that we have texts, and we know that there's an Alexa in your house, and you know that those are trained to record distress.
Okay.
You know that we know the content of Nikki's text messages and your text messages and Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew who Nikki was until tonight, right now, so.
Okay. Tell us about that night again, and please tell the truth this time.
I told you the truth. I promise I've told you the truth. Like, I woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock. Got dressed, got ready. 4:15, me and Shanann talked. About the house, about separation.
Did you guys talk about Nikki?
She accused me of like, alright, well, you know, is there somebody else?
Sure.
I didn't say it.
You denied it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she brought up like, you know, like, well, was there a $68 charge on dinner the other night?
Okay.
Was there 2 of you?
And that was with 2 of you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Nikki.
Okay, so it sounds like at that time there was maybe you weren't quite ready to just say, man, this is everything.
I couldn't say it.
Okay.
We were already trying hard enough. I couldn't say that.
Okay. What did you say?
I just told her like, this separation has to go. I want separation.
Okay. Was it her idea to sell the house or yours?
She initiated the realtor the week before in an email.
Why?
Because we were talking about the marital issues. She's like, well, you can't afford to live on her own. Well, she can't afford to live on her own, and I can't afford to live on my own. So she was like, we need to just contact Ann and see.
And who'd you contact?
Well, she contacted Ann, our realtor.
Ann?
Yeah.
Okay. Would Ann say the same thing, that your wife initiated the contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
She would. And then on Monday, I texted her to see if what she could do.
Okay.
And that's in there too. You probably already knew that.
Tell me about the pregnancy. Was that your idea or hers?
She said she was about 80-20. Well, when we did the pros and cons of it, like after she got pregnant, she told everybody that it was mainly my idea.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a boy.
Did you want to get pregnant?
Okay. And then after the fact, she said it was mainly me that wanted it, and she was about, you know, she was 70-30 against it at that point. Like, she would tell her friends that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what, 70-30 against it? Like, why?
Okay. Can you understand that some of this just doesn't make sense to us? Okay. How is it possible that a woman and 2 kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth?
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
So tell me what happened then. I believe you that you did nothing on your hands. What happened?
When I left, I mean, it's on video that I left and I was in my truck. I didn't like load anything into my truck besides my tools, my container, my book bag, my water jug, my lunchbox.
Okay. But then what happened?
I drove out of the driveway.
No, before you drove out of the driveway. What happened with your wife and your kids?
I didn't do anything with them. They were still in the house.
Where are they? Where did they go?
I don't know, sir. I really don't know.
Your wife's not the type of person to vanish.
I know she's not.
She had 10 things on her schedule that meant she was going to be there the next day, that day, the day after that, with friends, with a doctor. Okay? She didn't leave because she wanted to.
Okay.
So what happened?
I didn't do anything to her or the kids.
Was it an accident?
I didn't do anything.
Was it an accident?
There was no accident. I don't know if there was an accident in the house. I wasn't there for it.
It's a big deal if it's an accident, because we can work with that, Chris.
No.
And I think that's maybe what happened.
I did not cause an accident. I didn't do anything to my wife and kids.
Was it a misunderstanding?
There's no misunderstanding. Like, we had that talk. There was a misunderstanding where I didn't tell her about the affair.
Okay.
I didn't. That was the misunderstanding.
Like, miscommunication, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Good.
But I probably should have told her right then, honestly. I mean, everything was out on the table anyways.
Right.
I should have just told her right then. But I didn't, because I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
What was your plan? What were you going to do? I mean, how was the separation going to work?
Like, once we got separated, I would get my own place, and then 50-50 split with the kids, I was hoping.
And what about Nikki?
Take it slow and just see if anything develops, like when I'm, at my own place.
Okay.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls, and you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds, and I start to go panic. I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do anything just because I haven't shed a tear. Like, you get
no, that's weird. Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Tell me,
my
explain
wife.
to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Yeah.
But you don't cry that your 2 little baby girls.
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
Yeah, but you don't have them right now. You're not reading stories to them at night.
I know.
You're not giving them midnight snacks. You're not giving them their medicine. You're not waking up with them in the morning.
I know this.
So that should cause you pain.
It does cause me pain.
But I don't see that. I don't see that. I want to see the Chris that cares. I want to see the Chris that, feels bad about what he did and wants to, get this off his chest and be done with this. And let us find your little girls so that they're not out there in the middle of a field or whatever somewhere. Like, don't do that.
I love those girls to death.
Then show us that. Show us that. Show us this Chris, not this Chris.
I'm not showing you that. I'm showing you the Chris that cares about his girls and his wife. Just because I haven't shed a tear, it shouldn't make you feel like that the love isn't there for them.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
I understand that.
You have to.
I totally see where you're coming from. Trust me, like, there's nothing. Just because
Chris, people can be pushed to the point where they do something that they regret. It happens every single day.
I know.
But part of what makes you a man is the guy that goes, really fucked up, but this is what I did, and I'm going to pay for what I did, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to be honest about it.
Chris, we can keep talking to you once we find these girls, okay? And once we find these girls and your wife, right, no matter how we find them, no matter what condition they're in, we can keep talking to you, and you can tell us, guys, it's not as bad as it looks. And you can say, let me tell you what happened. I was never comfortable with you, Graham, or with you, Tam. I wasn't comfortable yet, but now that everything's known, now that these girls are found and Shanann's found, however they're found, it's okay. We can keep talking to you. Okay?
Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known, because they didn't leave the house. Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
No, they were at the house when I left. They were there.
They weren't there. They didn't leave. They vanished.
They were there.
The only way they could have left is in your truck.
There's no way, because, like, I didn't just throw them in my truck.
You know your truck has GPS,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Because you told your boss, like, hey, I'm going through separation, or maybe staying at a friend's house, whatever. You know that thing pings every 10 seconds?
Yep.
So we will know exactly where you went.
And your company's giving that to us.
I know.
Okay. Are we not asking the right questions, Chris?
No, you're asking all the questions.
What are we not asking you right? What are we doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong.
Did Shanann do something?
I think she did anything to these kids. We both love them with all our hearts. There's no way.
It could have been an accident. Something happened in the house that you know about. You failed the polygraph test, Chris. This is not about, did you leave and your wife vanished and you didn't know anything about it. That was not what you were asked, okay?
Okay.
We know that something happened to all three of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these baby girls first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shanann.
Chris, you got to tell us. There's something that happened to these baby girls. Look at them.
I know. Before you came in, I was just watching videos.
We have no doubt you love these girls with all of your heart. I have no doubt. But we make mistakes.
And that's okay.
It's what we do with those mistakes that make us who we are.
Chris, it seems like you're thinking about it right now. What are you thinking about?
She couldn't have.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are. Which one of these has the breathing thing?
Well, they both have inhalers, but she has the EOE, encephalitis esophagitis.
Did she have problems breathing?
And only like with her allergies and whatnot, like if she had anything next, but she's home with the endoscopies and everything and the surgeries I told you about.
Do you think she had trouble breathing that night? And Shanann freaked out? And didn't want to live without her baby girl?
So,
Did you hear about the homicide that happened in Aurora, where the guy beat that family to death with a ball-peen hammer? The only person that survived was a 3-year-old sibling, and that sibling grew up to be a total mess. No family, no mom and dad, no brother or sister, just her by herself. She says, I wish I would have died with them. And there are times that people freak out. I've seen it. I mean, I've been in law enforcement for almost 20 years. I've seen it. Parents freak out and they're like, oh my God, like, I can't have my baby girls live without each other. They're best friends. They're like twins. They're, you know, they wake each other up in the morning. And I understand that. We had a mom in Castle Rock that suffocated both her baby girls. She's like, my husband was going to take them, and she's like, I just couldn't handle. I thought I was doing right by them. I thought I was saving them pain. And I get it.
Why? How's she saving the pain?
Because she didn't want them to have to live without their mom.
Chris, this is a weight that's going to be on you for the rest of your life until we resolve it tonight. Unless we can talk about this more tonight, this is going to follow you forever. I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better. I know you already feel better about getting the Nikki off your chest.
Please don't like involve her in this or anything like that. She can't do that.
You gotta help me.
I know.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it.
Did they look like this the last night you were with them?
She had that dress on, like, on the 8th or 9th. It wasn't this, but she had that dress on. I remember I had 2 buttons on the back. I'd take them off so I could get her pajamas on that night.
Did you guys make sure they were warm when they left the house?
Make sure they were warm. They're always warm. They always have, when they're in their beds, they're always warm.
Okay. Were you guys taking care of them at the very end?
They're always taken care of. They never miss a meal.
Chris, you took them out of the house with their blankets and their animals. Like, that's because you cared. That's what a caring dad does.
I mean, I'm always caring for these kids. There's nothing in this for my life.
I believe that. I believe that, and I believe someone made a mistake, whether it was you or Shanann. And you either cleaned up after Shanann or you made the mistake. And I mean, I want to believe that maybe Shanann did it and you felt compelled to fix this so Shanann didn't look bad. That's what I want to believe. But I don't know, you're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like, did you do that to all 3 of them?
I did not do anything to these kids. Not do anything.
What did Shanann do to them? Tell us, Chris. Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just can't talk to my dad. Like, I flew across the country.
Hey, Chris, how about this? If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened?
Can I just go talk to him? I've been in here for like 5 or 6 hours and I'm like...
Absolutely. Chris, look at me, man. It's not going to feel any better. He deserves an answer.
Did
There's only one person you wanted here most, and that's your dad.
Yes.
What would you tell him?
I love him, and I just want him to be by my side.
Okay. He knows more than we do that you're a good man. And he knows as much as you want to protect your wife, Shana. I think he would tell you to do the right thing. Before we get him.
Can I go out there and talk to him?
Well, I don't know that you want to do it out there because there's a lot of people going through the halls. Should we bring him in here?
We'll step out. Okay?
Can you need a few minutes with him?
Okay.
Can we just ask a couple more questions? It seems like you're about to get it off your chest. Is there any way that you can help us understand more about Shanann and why maybe something happened? So that we don't get a bad picture about her. And what I mean is, what happened that night with her?
As far as like after I talked to her?
With the girls.
Like when we were having that conversation in bed there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I talked to her about the separation and the house, and she asked me about the affair, and that's how that conversation went.
Okay.
She was distraught. She had like mascara on down her face, all that. I mean, it was emotional.
Well, how about this? If we bring in your dad, will you promise me that you'll talk to him?
I'll talk to him.
Okay. Will you promise me that you'll tell him everything? Would it be easier if you told him and he told us?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to be easier or not. I tend to think it's not. I think you're the type of guy that needs to take responsibility because you always have taken responsibility. You've always made the right choice. So, I guess I'm just worried that if we bring your dad in here, that could distract you. What do you think?
Distract me from like talking to you?
Yeah.
I just need to talk to him.
Okay. All right. I know you'll do the right thing. I do. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think that you need to think a little bit more about that. Okay?
And you need to realize that your dad is not going to stop loving you no matter what you tell him. You are his child, and he will not stop loving you.
Never.
Ever.
And this is not the last chapter in anyone's story. At all. Okay? He's been here the whole time. You know, he didn't want to leave you. Have you ever seen, sometimes when an animal's owner dies, they stick around forever? I think that's your dad. Poor guy didn't want to leave today, okay? So, keep that in mind. He wants to hear it all.
know I had an affair. And they know. I can't complain about that.
They know you had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on, or what happened, or anything? Or you know anything about?
When we had that conversation that morning, it was, it was emotional. It was told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. What happened after that?
I went downstairs and I don't want to protect her.
What?
I don't want to protect her.
You don't want to protect her?
I don't know what else to say.
What happened?
Huh?
She hurt him?
Yeah. And then I
What now?
thought about her.
You hurt her? Did they leave after that, or what now? So she started hurting the kids.
They were
Oh, you guys, what happened? What? She smelled it. Or choking. No.
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone. I don't know, like me talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about
And she lost it.
I don't know, like, what else to say, like, 'cause I freaked out. Those are my kids.
So she, it's not at that one time, you were leaving the place and go to work. And she freaked out over the separation and everything.
Like, she laid back down, but that's when I went downstairs, but I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you went back upstairs and she was,
I could see, like, she was on top of the sheet.
what, choking her, or did she kill her?
They're blue.
Both of them?
Yeah.
She choked both of them to death.
I freaked out at the same thing. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say though.
No,
she knew about the affair. She just was waiting for me to say something and for me to deny it again. I think she just lost it.
That's when she went off and told her about it.
That's when the crying like happened. And I didn't tell her how much, she just knew. She just knew. I could deny all I want, she just knew.
Saying that she killed both over. Was it a separation or the affair?
I think she just knew, like, the affair was happening, but I just denied it.
Don't you told her before on that separation?
But, you know, she was hoping we'd go to counseling or something. I didn't want to go to counseling.
She lost it. In another separation. Did she break up the affair that morning too?
Last time I was see a light day again. It's the last time I will see a light day again.
That's random.
I don't want to talk to you.
She lost it with a separation.
Pretty much knowing the affair was going on, but we just profusely denying it.
I never did. I made a total but she more or less knew something was going on. She actually killed both her children. And you snapped. Same thing. Yeah, if I make a lawyer, see what you can do.
Will you tell us what you told your dad?
After that conversation,
Water up there, son.
no, you're fine.
Yeah.
After that conversation we had, and she accused me of the affair, she, in her heart, she knew what was going on. And she knew about the dinner the other night. It was too much for just me.
She knew about what now?
When I told her I went to a Rockies game, I went out to bed. I went downstairs.
And that's when you told her about the separation?
Well, that was when I was upstairs in bed. And told her, what I wanted and to come on the separation. And that's what I want.
What happened after that?
I went downstairs and started packing up a few things. And I heard a couple of things upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. I continued this, own thing and get ready to get everything packed up.
What happened next?
I went upstairs and I was going to talk to her again. And I saw on the monitor, Bella's covers were like pulled off and she was just laying there. She was just hot. Cycled over to CC. She was in there with her. On top of her. Freaked out. I ran in there and got on top of her.
What'd you do?
She blew. Those are my babies. Those are my kids.
What happened?
That doesn't appear to hurt.
Who, Shannon? Where were you at?
Right there. I put her back in our bed. Shannon.
In your bed? What happened next?
I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. I'm shaking. Like both my kids are blue and they're gone. And I'm just like blind, just I'm not that person, like, I'm just like, she hurt my kids. Like, I had to do the same thing to her.
What happened after she was in your bed?
In there, and I didn't know what to do. It was, she's back and I
Can you tell us where they're at?
We can help you get them out of the cold.
They're gone. There's no bringing them back.
Well, where are they?
That first location I went to that day.
Where at?
That's 3319.
Where at? That location?
Right there off the site. Right there.
How did you pick that site?
First site I was supposed to take them there.
So where would we find them there?
I didn't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like, none of this made sense. Why would she hit my fucking girls?
So, Chris, are they in something? Are they under the ground? Like, where would you find them? You take us out there?
There's no way I want to go out there. I mean, I will if you want me to. I don't want to go.
What if you and me and your dad just drove by and you could just say, right there, we could help you just get him out of the cold, you know, take care of him for the last time.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
I know you are. I know you came in today to do the right thing. You didn't have to come in. You came in all on your own.
Don't take anything less than me.
What?
Just please don't take anything less than me. Talk to my dad.
Are they all three out there, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
What was she doing to Cece?
She's just on top of her. My hands around.
Hands around what?
My neck.
You saw it?
I saw it on the monitor.
Okay.
And that's why I ran in there.
What'd she say?
Threw her off and saw Cece was just already blue. It's not moving. And just that blind rage, I just did the same thing to her.
Did you ever go into Bella's room?
Just pushing it back in. That's no. When I saw her on the monitor, the way she was laying, the bed just sprawled out.
Is that when you packed up their special stuff? So where'd you put them? Get them out there.
In the truck.
Which part?
Driver's side rear.
In the passenger compartment?
Driver's side rear. Right behind my seat.
What were you thinking on the way out there?
And the babies are gone. And I had put my hands around my wife's neck and did that same thing.
Did Shanann fight back at all when you did that?
The rage that I had after seeing that, like, not much.
How do you know Shanann was dead?
Smooth.
We looked on her Facebook page like 2 days ago. They had this like 4 or 5 foot long baby doll. She had it laying on the couch with a sheet over it.
She ended?
Yeah. Before any of it happened.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So I'm thinking that's not a plan. I don't know.
That's a very good point.
I can't see it now, but I'm blocked on there. If you look on their Facebook page.
What did it say, or what was the
It
caption?
said, what do you say to this? Something similar to that. And a tall baby doll about that tall was laying on one of our couches and had a sheet over it across the head all the way up. You can see his feet hanging out. Saying like Bella had done that. The kid went through that.
Do you remember that, Chris? What do you think?
Just make fun of it. Thought it was funny.
Did Bella do it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think so. But I don't catch it up. I don't think she would do something like that. I've seen them have their dolls and stuff out on the floor and just covering up waist and stuff and something like that. But then covering their head and everything up like
what?
Like a body laying there or something.
It sounds like kind of
I'm sorry, I lied to you.
companion.
I mean, you knew what was going to happen.
You stayed for a reason.
Chris, you're a good man.
I'm not a good man.
Well, you stayed. You wanted to talk. You knew it was going to be hard, and you still stayed. That's what a good man does.
Stayed here for 6 hours and 11 minutes before.
Just staring you in the face.
We're glad you did.
I can see when the rage would come out and see if the kid's dead.
You don't know. You don't know when you look at you come out and see it move.
I told you your dad still love you, no matter what.
How could you let someone kiss the body?
Hey, Chris.
Nothing will ever be the same again.
When you came in, was your wife on top of her right when you came in? So you saw it in person?
Because I saw the monitor, that's why I rushed in. So I went in there to talk to her again.
And when you came in, she was right there on top of
She was right there.
Okay.
Her hands on her throat.
She didn't know what to do.
Were you trying to save Cece?
Hard to glue her face. She wasn't moving. Her head just hanging over her lip like that.
So where did you put them out there, Chris? That's really important. something? Are they under something? In something?
I didn't know what else to do.
I know, so tell me what you did. I know.
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
It's like my wife just did this, and I just did that. What do I do?
Right.
Anything that I would do from there was just going to be just insensitive and just a horrible thing.
You were in a tough spot. I mean, what can you do, right?
Sometimes your body just kind of takes over and... I'm looking at your dad here. Can you show us?
What's going to happen?
We're going to help him get out of there. Do you
Like, what?
Would you prefer that maybe one of your coworkers?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
I cannot have that. You said that you're about to become a good man. They're going to see this. You're like, what the fuck did you do, Chris? What? Like, why didn't you just go to college to begin with?
Well, they weren't in your shoes. They don't know.
I know.
They weren't living your life.
I know, but still, it's like...
People are going to...
I can never,
We'll just go little steps at a time. How about that?
I can't have anybody show you out there, anybody, no coworkers, please.
Okay.
I mean, they're just going to form their own opinions anyways once they figure everything out anyway.
We'll just take little steps tonight then. How about that?
Yeah. Do you have to have any of them with you?
No.
No. We prefer you.
Can you and me and Tammy and Ronnie get in the car and just drive out there?
Just general direction.
You just point it?
Take it from there.
Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies, and you're still their dad.
And you don't want them out there.
I don't want them out there.
And you don't want someone else to find them out there. You don't, I promise you. You'll take us. You give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged. You do that?
Ronnie, do you mind staying in here with him?
What the fuck is this? This is just fucking horrible. The problem is I don't even know if they believe me or not.
Yes.
since my daughter ever goes to my house before my wife found out. This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, or is it?
No, not tonight. I can't imagine tonight, no. I mean, I don't really have much say in that, but I can't see that. Do you want me to take you out to the lobby and you can go to the bathroom and then text your wife and stuff, talk to them?
You might want to go outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside.
Just watch the press people around.
Yeah, I'll see them out there while I go.
You want to take your water with you?
Yeah.
We're going to try to do our best to make sure that we, we don't stand to gain anything by broadcasting any of this. That's not what law enforcement is ever really about. So we're going to try our best to handle that as discreetly as possible, but they're pretty good at what they do too.
So I'm not from around here neither, are you?
I've only been here a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a lawyer or something for, not a public defender, but somebody else.
We can talk
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Get your phone. You got it, okay. Let's go this way. All right, we'll stop.
So if you're up for it, we'll talk a little bit more. I think we have a picture of, is it Survey 319? I think we have a picture. Kind of walk you through that. I'm sure you have a ton of questions for us about, how your night, month, and weekend's going to look. So Tammy, I was just telling him, I wanted to show him that picture.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about how the rest of the night's going to go.
That looks familiar to you? What is that?
It's the BRC Survey 319.
Okay. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls?
How old is this picture?
Today.
That's today.
Okay, can you mark it for me? I think it's the paper, it's just gonna be the S for Shanann, okay, and where are the girls at?
Here.
In these?
Mm-hmm.
So which one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Chanel was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in the pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably flew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here, but
So, how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt? How did you dig that?
it's a shovel in the back of my truck. That's what I always have.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? How was Shanann dressed?
Shirt and underwear.
Is that what she got into bed with? Do you remember what color her shirt bottoms or her underwear?
I think my shirt was either black or gray. Underwear was probably blue.
How much time passed, do you think, from the time that she was back in the bed until you put them in the truck? we talking minutes, hours, something else?
From when I left the house.
Yeah, like from when you got her into bed to when you put her in the trunk. How long a time was that?
So like from when pushing her in my truck, from the bed to the truck.
Yeah, from your master bed to the truck, yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Because you talked about covering her up or something.
Yeah. And the sheet.
Is there anything else about anything out here that has stuff that you've left in certain spots, or you sure their blankets and toys aren't going to be in there as well?
Not because it was right here with their sheet.
Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just going to write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything, just underwear? Okay. Do you remember what they look like?
Blue.
Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were?
They're both nightgowns.
Okay.
Celeste, I think, was that pink one with the like birds on it.
Okay.
I think Bella's was their unicorn or believe on it or something.
Okay. So it sounds like, it feels like to me, now we know pretty well how to go get them. Is there anything else we need to know?
About how to get them?
Yeah. Does someone have to climb up to the top and unscrew something and then lower something down to get them?
They're like, it's just a hatch on the top, and they're like 20-foot tanks.
How far down are they?
Wherever the food level is in the tank, I'm not sure.
Okay. What was it when you were there?
I don't know, I didn't.
Okay.
I wasn't looking for that.
Okay. All right.
You may go out there or no?
I don't think so. Would you prefer not to?
I didn't know if you needed help getting there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think once we got that picture, because we didn't really know how much about the location that the other police officers knew, but it sounds like they knew somehow right how to get to 319. So, and I think that's how they got that picture. Does your nanny cam, do you have nanny cam, right?
It's a monitor.
Baby monitor. Is it a video one?
It's like it cycles back and forth.
Between what?
Bella and Cece's room.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any chance it records? No? Okay. I'm just wondering, what do you think ultimately made Shanann snap?
Just knowing that I had an affair, and she knew. She just needed me to admit it, and I would admit it.
Yeah. Okay. So we just started talking about, I asked him if there's any chance that the nanny cam could have recorded Shanann doing what she did. And then we were just getting into, what Chris thinks about why she snapped.
Mm-hmm.
He's just saying, distress from knowing about the other girl.
Knowing, but she didn't really know, right? I mean,
in her heart, she knew. She just wanted me to admit it.
Can we talk about a couple tough things? of the way and just really get it out, just to make sure you have every chance to explain exactly what happened and we have every chance to ask questions. So the conversation happened. You go downstairs. She's still upstairs. And then you see what?
I hear just commotion upstairs, just like, you know, like little noises like that.
Okay.
Didn't think anything of it. So I go back up and just talk to her again, maybe real fast. And go into their room, her master bedroom. She wasn't in there.
Okay, you went there first?
Yeah.
And why did you go up again?
Just to go up and talk to her again.
Okay. So it's not as though that noise made you run up, you just stopped?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Didn't
Okay.
anything register with me for that. I just looked in the monitor and it was on Bella.
And where is the monitor, where's the screen that you look at? Is it up or downstairs?
It's upstairs.
Okay, so you go upstairs, look at the monitor.
Yeah, everything's right beside the bed.
Oh, your master bedroom, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
beside the bed.
So she's not in her bed?
It's still right there.
Okay.
She wanted to look at it. And it was on Bella. Her covers were pulled back. She was just sprawled out laying there. And then it cycled over. So they got 3, 4, 5 second like interval between when it cycles from room to room. And it cycled over to Susie's room. And that's when I saw her on top of her. That's when I ran in.
Okay. So can we talk about, again, it's very, very hard to talk about, but it's good to make sure that we understand. We don't want anything to be incorrect or inaccurate or anything like that. Was your wife on top of Cece? What did that look like? I mean, was she straddling her? Okay. And where were they?
In the bed.
On the bed. And so your wife was on top. Was she doing this?
That's when I was walking up from the back.
Okay. So you saw from the back?
Yeah.
Okay. But she was doing this?
It looked like it was like this.
Yeah, okay. And then was Cece face up, face down, what?
Off to the side.
Oh, she was laying on her side? Okay.
And that's when I pulled her off. And
okay.
She was limp and she was blue.
Okay.
There was no movement at all.
Oh, she was limp and blue, or limping and blue?
Limp and blue.
Limp and blue, okay.
It's like her body was like,
right.
You pick her arm up and it
Sure.
just falls.
Okay. And then what happened?
I looked at her and I just got on top of her and
You got on top of Shanann?
did the same thing.
Okay. Did you have to knock her down?
No.
She was already on the ground?
I just pulled her off on the bed. And
oh, kind of one movement?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not as though you pulled her off?
No. Like I went up, pulled her down and did that. I didn't know. I lost it.
Sure. Okay.
So Shanann was laying on the ground?
On the bed.
On the bed?
Yeah, like when she was on top of Cece, I saw what was happening. I pulled her, went down. I was on the bed.
How big was the bed? What kind of size is it? Full, clean, you know?
I think it's probably a queen of some sort.
Okay.
I have a picture of it somewhere, I think.
So where was Celeste in the
She was all the way up to the top.
To the top?
Yeah. And I went in and pulled Shanann down, it was crossways.
Like,
So she was laying this way, as I was.
Okay. Well, it's key room.
Mm-hmm.
So then, is this picture as you're standing in the doorway to go in? What is that where, okay? And then, so were they closer to this side or this side?
Cece usually sits in the middle.
Okay. And then, so your wife was right on top of her, you could just see that. And then, did you pull her this way or that way, or?
So I looked where her head was on this side.
Beside
morning. You're welcome to be seated. Okay, we are on the record. We are in Division 17 of the Weld County District Court, and we are here regarding Weld County case number 18CR2003, People of the State of Colorado versus Christopher Lee Watts. My name is Marcelo Cupcow, a District Court Judge here in Weld County, and I will be the presiding judge in this case. If I could please have the lawyers identify themselves in the record, starting with the prosecution.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burke on behalf of the people.
Patrick Roach on behalf of the people. Your Honor, John Walsh on behalf of the defense. Jim Burson on behalf of Mr. Watts. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Rourke, do you want to make a record regarding compliance with the Victims' Rights Act?
Yes, Your Honor. We are in compliance with the Victims' Rights Act. Frank Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' father, is present in the courtroom, as is Frankie Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' brother. They are present in the courtroom, and we have advised them of the purpose of today's hearing and what we expect to occur.
Thank you. Mr. Watts, last week I gave you a limited advisement because charges had not been filed. They have now been filed, so I'm going to give you the full advisement. If at any time you have any questions, please let me know, and welcome also to certainly consult with your attorneys, okay?
Yes, sir.
So, you do not need to make any statements. Any statements you make can be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to be represented by counsel, and if you're indigent, you have the right to request the appointment of counsel or consult with the public defender before any further proceedings are held, and I see that you've taken advantage of that right. Any plea that you make must be made voluntarily and not the result of undue influence or coercion. You understand?
Yes, sir.
At this point, I have denied your right to bail, given the charges. You can certainly have a conversation shortly about that issue. You have the right to understand the nature of the charges. We'll go over them in a moment. You have the right to a jury trial. You also have the right to demand and receive a preliminary hearing within a reasonable time to determine whether probable cause exists to believe that the offenses charged were committed by you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I assume that the defense has received a copy of the complaint and information. Mr. Watts, let me explain to you what you have been formally charged with and what the possible penalties are. Count 1 alleges that on or about August 13th, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Shanann Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. And that crime is classified as murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. Do you understand? Count 2 alleges murder in the first degree, also a class 1 felony, and it reads that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Bella Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 3 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony, and specifically it alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Celeste Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. Do you understand?
Yes,
Count 4 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Bella Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in the position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand?
sir.
Count 5 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Celeste Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
With regard to these first 5 counts, the minimum sentence that the court could impose if convicted is life imprisonment in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and the maximum sentence is death. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me also point out that pursuant to Rule 32.1 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, the prosecutor would have to file a written statement of intent to seek the death penalty no later than 63 days after arraignment. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If a life imprisonment sentence was imposed, it would be without the possibility of parole. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Count 6 alleges a Class 2 felony of unlawful termination of pregnancy in the first degree. Specifically, it alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, with the intent to terminate unlawfully the pregnancy of a woman, namely Jeanette Watts, feloniously and unlawfully terminated the pregnancy of the woman. Further, the woman died as a result of the unlawful termination of the pregnancy in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3.5-103. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The possible penalties, if convicted for this crime, is a mandatory minimum 16 years in prison up to 48 years in prison, followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 5 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 7 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair it or their appearance or availability in the official proceedings in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 8 alleges also tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And finally, count 9 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. With regard to counts 7, 8, and 9, those Class 3 felonies carry a presumptive range of 4 to 12 years in the Colorado Department of Corrections. If there were sufficient mitigating circumstances, the minimum could be as low as 2 years. If there were sufficient aggravating circumstances, as many as 24 years. And any prison sentence would be followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 3 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about what I've said so far?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Merson, has your office filed a written intent to seek a proof evident presumptive rate hearing?
Not yet, Judge, but we will be following that. This case will be Mr. Walsh's and Ms. Harrell's. They will be attorneys listed on the, I believe, the most recent pleading from the defense.
Okay, thank you. And I would point out, Mr. Watts, that the prosecution also indicated in the complaint and information that these were acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that? Yes. Okay, thank you. And so, Mr. Walsh, what is your request today?
Your Honor, considering that we haven't received any discovery of the case, we're not in a good position at this point to advise the court about what kind of time we'll need. My suggestion to the court is that the court allow Mr. Watts to reserve the preliminary hearing in the case, reserve the proof evident hearing, and set the matter for a status conference about 60 days out.
So just to be clear, he is waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days, that he's not seeking a proof evident presumption rate hearing prior to the setting of the status conference in about 60 days, but he's reserving his right to have those hearings in the future, but not necessarily within 35 days. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. We've spoken about those issues.
And do you understand what we're talking about, Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that? Okay. And Mr. Rourke, do you have any objection to that request?
No, Your Honor, that seems like the prudent way to proceed at this point.
Okay. Let me give you a date that, how does, so 60 days is about October 20th or so. I have October 11th. Does that date work for the parties? I can go a little bit further if you like as well.
I think a little bit further would make sense, Your Honor. Thank you.
How about November 19th? While we're waiting for lawyers to let me make a record that the court's going to find that Mr. Watts is knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days. And while he has not asked for a proof evident presumption rate hearing yet, I'm told that he will, but he's not requesting that hearing prior to the status conference that we're setting today. Agreed?
Yes. That date works fine with the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, I spoke to the Rusiks, and that is fine with the people as well as the witness.
How is late morning on November 19th?
Anytime, Your Honor. Late morning is fine.
Very good. How about 10:30?
That'll work for the people.
And that will be in Division 16. I apologize for the bouncing around of division, but my courtroom obviously is not big enough, and I will keep you updated on where the divisions are going to be, but the next court date will be in Division 16. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns, anything that we can address today before us recessing?
I think there are a couple of things outstanding, Your Honor, and first I wanted to address one very ministerial point of clarification with respect to the standing decorum order that the court entered yesterday. By its terms, and when the court defines the applicable areas, that includes my office, specifically the boundaries of the district attorney's office. I just wanted to make a request for clarification that the terms of this order do not apply to the conduct that occurs within my office itself.
Agreed.
Thank you. Otherwise, I have provided a copy of this to the employees of my office, and we will be providing it to law enforcement after this hearing is on.
Thank you. I also intend on issuing a case management order later today, so be on the lookout for that.
I don't know if the court has the desire at this point this morning to address a couple of the other outstanding motions that the Public Defender's Office has filed that we had entered or filed responses to. We have not addressed motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And those are the defense motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And for the record, our responses were C, D, E, and F.
I don't have those motions in front of me, but I know that I issued a number of written orders yesterday. Did you receive those?
I received written orders, but not as it relates to those 4, so perhaps they just haven't reached my desk yet.
If they haven't yet, I will issue a written ruling and be getting it shortly. I issued a number of orders yesterday.
Your Honor, does that include, I did get the order on motion 5 and motion 7. Does that include motions 2 and 3 then that the court would?
Remind me what 2 and 3 are again?
Motion 2 is the motion to allow confidential defense experts to be present for any testing. And we did have a bit of additional argument on that if the court wanted to hear it. Motion 3 is a motion for a protective order.
I prefer they put it in writing and then I'll issue a written order with regard to that. Is that something that's time sensitive?
I think it could be, Your Honor. I can't speak for the district attorney, but it could be.
I can tell the court, understanding what Mr. Walsh is referring to in motion number 2, it is not something that is going to occur in the next day or 2, so it's not time sensitive in that respect.
So you'll be received, if you want to put something in writing, you're welcome to, and I will issue a written order in a timely manner.
Does the court want to give us a deadline for that?
Sure. When would you like to file a response?
I can have it done in a day or 2.
Okay. And so, do you have control, Mr. Warren, as to when the testing is going to occur?
Absolutely. I can certainly make clear to our forensic agents that pending the litigation or the receipt of a court order on this, that we will not do any forensic testing.
That'd be great. So did you want to have time to file a reply to the response?
If necessary, if I could have 3 business days to file a response to whatever Mr. Walsh files in the next couple of days, I would appreciate that.
Okay, so Mr. Walsh, do you have something filed by close of business tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so close of business on Monday, Mr. Warren?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll have something to the parties by midweek next week.
Thank you.
Any other issues that we can resolve today?
Not from the people around.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, we are in recess. Thank you for your time.
Hey everybody! So I'm home with the family and they're excited to try the new Pro Bars and they came in I think yesterday. So we have cookies and cream and we have lemon meringue. Who wants Pro Bars?
I do.
Alright, so do you guys want lemon meringue first or do you want cookies and cream?
Cookies.
Cookies?
I want that.
You want the lemon meringue? Alright, since I have this one open, let's try this one first, okay?
Cookies and cream.
And Daddy's gonna try it too.
Yeah. Are you both?
Yes, so everyone's gonna try Chris Crumb cookies and cream. Alright, Bella gets cookies and cream, Cece gets cookies and cream.
Ready?
Ready?
Set.
You're the taste testers.
Yummy.
Is it yummy? What's it taste like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. What else?
Watermelon.
Watermelon. What's it taste like, Cece?
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Is it delicious? Uh-huh. Daddy?
Oreo wrapped with vanilla. It's nice.
Oreo wrapped in vanilla?
Mm-hmm.
Is it yummy, Cece? Mm-hmm. Is that good, Bella? I think they like cookies and cream. Okay, so let's try the lemon meringue. Hey, everybody. So, a little crazy over here. Cece loves the cookies and cream.
You like it? Yeah, nothing. Good thing.
Don't mind me. It's been a long travel day yesterday. Been cleaning, regrouping today. Hey, Jen. Okay, so Chris, this is the lemon meringue. Nope, that's Daddy's. Here's yours. Wait, don't take. Wait. Here, Bella. Okay, this one's lemon meringue. It's like the pie, but better, because I don't like the pie.
Ready, set, go.
Ready? Hey, Jessica.
That's so good.
How's that taste, Cece?
Good.
Good? Yeah? Do you like that one better? Mm-hmm.
Me too. I like it.
What's it taste like?
You like lemon meringue pie, straight out the box.
Bella, what's it taste like?
I don't like it.
You don't like that one? Bella doesn't like that one. That's okay.
Okay.
You like the birthday cake, right? And the cookies and cream? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dieter, do you want some? Yeah, Dieter wants some. All right, so which one's your favorite out of all the Pro Bars? Hey, Wendy.
I would say lemon meringue.
Lemon meringue?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite, Cece?
Birthday.
Birthday? Mommy's favorite. What's your favorite? The cookies and cream? Wow.
We have to keep 3 on stock.
It's a good thing. How do I turn this around? It's a good thing that I have all 3 of the favorites in the house. Cinnamon rolls were sold out of it here at the house.
I want dip and cream.
You want dip and ranch? You want ranch dip and chips? Jess, I have them all. I just ate all of the cinnamon rolls. Cece actually really likes the cinnamon rolls too. Look at that one.
Cookies and cream. We got Cookie Monster.
I'm guessing you like it, kiddo. You like it? You want the lemon meringue, Cece?
No, she didn't like that one.
I don't like that.
Daddy will finish it.
Yep.
All right, you guys. So that's our family. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, everybody. So we're a mixed family. Apparently, birthday cake is a winner for me and Cece. Bella loves the cookies and cream, and Chris is lemon meringue. Surprisingly, because he's a cookies and cream guy.
Yeah.
So super excited. I love it that it's a healthy snack, and Cece can eat it because she has a tree nut allergy. And none of our products are made in a facility that handles nuts at all. So Cece can have them. There's 0 nuts in them, and it's the only go-to bar. We can't do processed bars. We can't do anything like that because Cece can't have any of it because it's all processed in a plant where there's tree nuts or nuts. So it's really nice that she can have it. It's a quick snack for mommy. It's always in my bag, and I can just give it to her. And I heard you, baby. I heard you. She wants ranch and dip. She's my child. Thanks, Kat. So it's really nice. It's convenient for me as a mom that I can just carry them in my purse and always have something for her. So super excited. The Pro Bars are amazing. They're a great snack, low carbs, low sugar, 2 grams of sugar in all of them, I think. But yeah, 2 grams of sugar and 20 grams of protein. So they're really good for you. So you guys have a great night. Love you. And we're going to be, Cece and I are fighting over the birthday cake. So, all right. Say bye.
Bye.
See ya. All right. Bye, guys.
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ron Watson. Thank you. And I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents of the children. And if you choose not to make a statement, but your designee, Ms. Powers, chooses to, she can do so as well. How would you like to proceed
Can I
today?
read that? I want you to start, but I would like to read
Who's
that.
going to be speaking today?
Your Honor, initially, they've asked me, and they're hoping that they have the strength to speak, but if they do not, they've written out their statements and asked me to finish for them. So
That would be fine. Who would like to go first?
if I could start, Your Honor. On behalf of the Watts, Your Honor, and to the community, we thank you for the opportunity and the recognition under the Victim Bill of Rights. We come today as the grandparents and the parent of the daughter and children whose life was taken in this case. We are not here to ask for leniency. We are not in any way condoning or tolerating the crime that has occurred and the pain that has been caused. We join in our daughter-in-law and grandchildren's family and saying, this should never have happened. This is not condonable. This is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost everyone. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every consideration and effort that's been put out. The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed, they were searching for answers, they were not intending to cause any pain to anyone, and they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. They appreciate that he is given the opportunity to serve that life sentence. It is his responsibility, it is his sentence, and it is not enough to make up for what has done. We understand and we join the family in that we have questions. We don't know how such a thing could possibly happen, or that a man that was responsible for raising his children and protecting his wife would take the steps that he did, and that he would disregard their bodies and the love that he had for them and they had for him and everyone else, and take the gestures and put this community through the investigation and the discovery and the responsibility of bringing justice. We do not understand that. We do not think it was appropriate. We cannot begin to think that an explanation will ever justify it. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace, to understand to the best of their ability the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence, we hope that he embraces that moment. That had the death penalty been pursued, there would not have been an opportunity to be accountable and to give a full confession. And had the death penalty been sought, counsel would have fought for his life, the prosecutors would have been engaged in a multiple-year battle, the families would have been torn apart, this community would have had to subsidize it and endure it, and we have so much respect and gratefulness that that did not happen. We would strongly encourage Christopher Watts to give that full confession in the tone and in the timing that he thinks is appropriate with the guidance of his counsel. We feel that it would be appropriate and helpful to ease the pain and the suffering. But we also say we don't think that there's anything that he can say that will ever account for his behavior. There's nothing that can be done to cure the harm he has caused. And he has the responsibility to serve his sentence with dignity and with regard for everyone, and to spend every breath that he has left in an atonement for what he has done. Do you want to read it?
If I could just have you state your name for the record.
Cindy Watts.
Thank you.
My name is Cindy Watts. I am the grandmother of two beautiful granddaughters, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine Watts. I am also the mother of Christopher Watts, who I will be directing most of my statement to. First, I'd like to begin by recognizing the absolute horror of this crime and acknowledging the devastating loss that both the Rusek family as well as our family have faced. Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that we are united in our grief. I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son Christopher, I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand, how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either. As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3:31, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you, and we forgive you, son.
Thank you. Judge, if I could read Mr. Watts' statement.
Yes.
My name is Ronnie Watts, and I am the grandfather of Bella, Celeste, Nico Watts, and I am the father of Shannon. I am the father of Christopher Watts as well. And one of the most important things I've done in my life is to raise my children and to watch as they started their own families. I spent many years coaching Little League and talking to my son, taking him to the races, and sharing my love and knowledge of cars with him. He was just as involved with his girls. I believe he loves his girls. I know he does. This tragedy has impacted my family in so many ways. Beyond losing my precious grandchildren, our beloved daughter-in-law, we are forced to question everything. We still don't have all the answers, and I hope one day, Christopher, you can help us. Chris, I want to talk to you as a father and son. You are here today accepting responsibility, but I want to tell you this now. I love you. Nothing will ever change that, and I want you to find peace, and today is your first step. The Bible says if we confess our sins, God is faithful and just and will forgive us. Chris, I forgive you, and your sister forgives you, and we will never abandon you, and we love you. Dad. Judge, thank you for the opportunity to address the court.
Just wait. Hi guys, say
What's
hi
going
Bella. We gotta get you dressed, kid.
I
Look
know,
what Bella's
right?
eating. Bella's eating some of the ingredients.
She got a nice little bowl of chocolate chips.
Look at that. What is that, Bella? Can you show them? What is it? Is it chocolate?
Is it chocolate?
It's chocolate mini morsels, right? Yeah, good job. So she's been eating my peanut butter and the chocolate morsels so far today. So we're gonna let a few more people hop on, and then we're gonna get cooking here, and we'll explain to you what we're cooking up over here. So
Yeah, welcome to the 12 days of Christmas, Lavelle Day, and even though I like to claim that I could probably cook, I can't at all. So I'm gonna let my wife do all the the cooking. She's gonna make up some Thrive Bites for us.
And I'm gonna go wash my hands real fast.
Uh-oh. She's gonna leave me here alone. Oh, we got some people joining. Bella, look. Got people looking at us. Say hi. Wife's gonna be making up some Thrive Bites here in a second, so make sure you hop on and join us for the 12 days of Christmas. Bella's got some chocolate chips.
I need a little Belle apron. Alright guys. Hey Michelle. Hey Amanda. Bella's showing you what she's eating. She's eating the ingredients. She's been eating the ingredients since I've been getting them prepared, so. So we're gonna make Thrive Bites today. Chris didn't want to go on live doing it because he didn't want to mess anything up. Not that you can mess anything up with Thrive Bites. It's so simple. Except for today, we're gonna double the recipe because we love the Thrive Bites. When you are craving something to eat, or junk food or whatever, you just pop a Thrive Bite and it fills you up, and it's really delicious. Thrive Bites, right?
Good job, Bella.
My little helper right here.
Thrive Bites.
So today, I will post in the feed the Thrive Bites. Bella, shh. Will you turn it down for me, please? So I'm going to post in the thread here today on how to make Thrive Bites and the recipe. So basically it calls for 1 packet of your lifestyle mix. Now you can use any flavor. I'm going to use vanilla here today. And hold on, honey. It calls for a cup of oats, a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. Hi, Bonnie. Hey, Corey. Look at Bella. A 1/2 cup of mini morsels. Now, I'm doubling the recipe, but still want to keep the calories down, so I'm only going to still do a 1/2 cup of mini morsels. It does also, you can add anything into it, like coconut, peanuts, walnuts, whatever you want. It's up to you. You also add a 1/3 cup of honey, a 1/2 cup of ground flaxseed, and a teaspoon of vanilla. I don't know if I mentioned peanut butter, but also 1/2 cup of peanut butter. Again, I'm doubling the recipe, so everything I'm doing here today is going to be double. Hey, Madison. Take care of my dad while he's there with you this week. All right, guys. Sorry. So first I'm going to add my oats. These are so good. We can't keep them in the house. So then I added, the mini morsels. I add the ground flaxseed. So I always add all of the ingredients. I'll just add the rest of Bella's. I add everything that's easy to mix. And so I'm gonna pour our premium lifestyle mix in a cup so you guys can see the consistency. It is micronized. It is fine. Very, 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 very fine. Hey, Christine. So if you guys, probably can't see that way here. So if you can see how finely micronized it is. I mean, literally it's thinner than flour. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. So, hey Mandy. So the Thrive Premium Lifestyle Mix is so fine. I mean, it's very, very, very fine. Let me find the other one. So you add 2 of those because, like I said, I'm doubling the recipe. Hey Sharon. And so now I just pretty much mix this. And then I'm going to add the honey, the peanut butter, and the vanilla. So look at this so far. Hey Sarah! So look at our little Thrive Bites so far. They're no bake, super simple, super delicious. Like I said, I'm going to Punta Cana in February, and I need to continue to, where'd Bella put my spoons? Hold on, guys. I think she took my, hold on. All right, I got 2 more. So if you're like me, Yes, Michelle, they're super delicious. So now I'm gonna add the honey. So I'm going to Punta Cana in February, and as much as I want to get into the gym, and I'm working on trying to find the time between work, you know, being a stay-at-home mom with the 2 girls, life and everything, it's really hard to get into. I just added the vanilla, sorry. It's really hard to get myself into the gym as much as I really want to. I've been doing some kind of like mini workouts at the house, like squatting and things like that, but it's hard for me to get to the gym. And being a stay-at-home mom during the day and working overnight shifts, you tend to snack a lot because you're always around food, and you know, whatever happens, you know, the kids are eating snacks, you jump on snacks. So this is my way of making my own snack, that instead of me grabbing a fruit roll-up or a bag of chips or any of that stuff, I just grab one of these, and I've made my own for the kids too. So they have their own little protein bites Bella loves. So now that all my ingredients are in here, I'm just going to mix it up really good. And as you guys know, messing with peanut butter, it's fun. So, sorry, I don't like a mess when I'm cooking. Not that I'm cooking. I know, Bonnie. So Bella does squats with me at the house because, you know, we all gotta work up the backside, right? So I am doing squats at the house, and it's super funny because she tries to do them with me. And so here comes Cece, the sumo wrestler, doing squats in my living room because she literally looks like a sumo wrestler when she's doing them. Yeah, Mandy, so that is my favorite side effect. And you know, the thing is, it's not a weight loss company. And as you know, I use you as an example because you are super skinny when you started Thriving. And so like, it's not a weight loss company, but you know what, with anything you can do, you can manage your weight, you know, with just the small things that you do with cutting out junk food. Like that's what has happened with me when I started the Thrive experience, is I no longer crave a lot of the junk foods as I used to crave. And being lazy from, sorry, I'm getting another spoon. Some of the, you know, filling in your nutritional gaps and craving more water, which is all I used to drink before, but I really crave a lot more water now. And on top of that, like I'm literally eating better. So that's really huge. You know, you got to take care of your body. You got to eat better. I'm changing the spoon because of the peanut butter. Hi, Carrie. So we're making mini Thrive, or not mini, but Thrive Bites here. So my hands are washed. Sometimes, you know, when you're in the kitchen, you just stick your hands in there. With the heat of your hands, it helps to melt the peanut butter a little bit, and so it kind of makes it easier to manage, so to speak. And then we're just going to literally roll these into balls, whatever size you like. I like to do them in like little minier sizes. So, and I'll kind of demonstrate here. Let me get this. So, get your hands dirty. I take about a teaspoon size. You can see that. And, you know, just pinch it into a ball. And so that's how big I make mine. They're probably a size of a quarter in round. Carrie, they're super delicious and very healthy for you too, except for the fact that they have little mini morsels in them, but I cut the recipe in half when it comes to the mini morsels. And then you can be creative. You can use the strawberry shake with it. You can use the apple pie and create it into like an apple pie little treat. I love the peanut butter because everyone in this house loves peanut butter and I can never keep it on hand. So it's been really good. Like I said, the girls love them. I don't use the Thrive Lifestyle mix for the girls, but I make them their own little mini bites, so they feel like they're getting a treat with us too. Yes, Mandy. So these are so, like, honestly, they're really good too. But yeah, and you can do whatever you want with them. You can add anything. I'm not a coconut person, so I don't add coconut to mine, but you can add chunky peanut butter. You can add anything, you know, that you want. Stick them in the fridge, let them chill, and put them in a little container, and then you're good to go. Grab and go. How many spoons are you required? Listen. I use like one sometimes, but like it's sticky, and usually I just use my hands a lot. Of course they're clean, but I'm trying to be proper, like professional TV cook. I don't qualify though. So give me 1 second. They're really good. You guys really have to try them. I will post them in the thread here. I am down 28 pounds since I started the Thrive Experience, and going to Punta Cana in February, I'd like to be down another, a good 5 to 10 pounds. And so this is a really good way for me to do that. And I'm going to show you kind of what they look like. I'm sure some of you have made some protein bites before. So it's super simple, you guys. Have fun with it. Bella was helping me out, but Chris took her away so she wouldn't talk on the video. Incorporate your kids, like make something for them. And this is super fun. Bella likes to roll these with me, and she does a really good job with it. And it's interaction with your children too at the same time. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna finish making these, and then I'll come back on later and show you what they look like when they're all done, even though they look the same, just a little firmer. So you guys have a great day, and I'll post the ingredients so Michelle, you can go ahead and continue shopping when you're at Walmart today. All right, guys, have a great day. These are great when you have an afternoon slump of work. Yes, so good. And honestly, like I eat them throughout the day, and they're really good snacks for when I work overnights, because when I work overnights, I tend to snack on a bunch of junk food, like things that aren't good for you. And so these have been a really good supplement instead of doing that. So instead of a bag of chips, I'm eating some Thrive Bites. All right, guys, have a great day.